Alright, so I'm going to try and extend the affirmative position a little bit, though I may find myself rebutting more than anything. My opponents began with a little interesting piece of advice, I believe, from an article it was, talking about how small businesses can adjust to the rising minimum wage by, instead of having 25 or 20 people, they can go down to 15 or 14 to go below the legal standard. Well, the problem with that is that the exact legal standard is only about 50 cents to $1 an hour less, and next year it's going to be moving up to what it is this year for those small businesses. So the extent to which that will actually help people, small businesses in particular, is minuscule at best. Part of what my partner raised was that a lot of the reason that jobs are so important is that, like, while a lot of this minimum wage is going to young people, may not necessarily need it, they're getting experience that way. And without these jobs, these people can't get experience and can't move up the market. Well, what's interesting about that is that, again, going back to the issue of small businesses, pro-con minimum wage quote says that from a 2013 Gallup poll, about 60% of small business owners say that raising the minimum wage will hurt most small business owners. Now, obviously, they're talking about themselves, but if anyone knows the problems with small businesses, it would be small business owners. And again, what we're looking at here is a jobs issue, because if people can't get jobs, they can't move up anywhere. They're going to just stay poor. Part of the, like another quote from San Francisco was the Office of Economic Analysis had said that the increase of $15 would reduce the city's employment by 15,275 sector jobs. That's one city in one state. There's a lot of big cities that are going to want to be moving things to $15, and that's the entire country. And San Francisco is a place that actually has a fairly high standard of living, so that's not as bad as it would be in other places. Outsourcing was also talked about as a problem, and again, it's not necessarily trying to say that big businesses are the reason to be pointing at things. Big businesses are going to move their jobs out to other places in the world if they can, and if they think that it's profitable for them to do so. If we're going to be raising minimum wages here, we're going to be taking jobs away, because they'll be moving jobs where they can. That's how businesses work. We may not like it, but that's the reality of a business. So, what I also thought was sort of interesting is this claim that by being able to raise the minimum wage, we'll end up helping people. And there's this sort of talk about how there'll be benefits to some, but costs to others. The reality in California is that it seems more than anything that with the fact that these gradual minimum wage increases have been rising the costs for everyone, it's more like benefits for some, costs for everyone. I mean, why do we think that people in California have been moving to other places like Arizona, like Texas? The first idea that comes to mind is it's so much less expensive there. I mean, it was what, like maybe 5-10 years ago, the minimum wage was 9, then we increased it to 10. Why wasn't 10 enough? Why isn't 11 enough now? Why isn't 12 enough next year? Why isn't 13? It just keeps going. This creates this positive feedback loop where we think we're trying to help the poorest people, but if we make everything more expensive, then no one can afford these things, and you're going to be increasing the number of poor people, not decreasing the number of poor people. So it's really not the solution that we need. So let's put that up.
Yeah.